Am I the asshole for refusing to help fund my wife's friend's wedding? Hello Reddit. My wife's friend is getting married in a month. My wife is a bridesmaid. I am not a fan of this friend. But that's just me. So I'm gonna move on to the real issue. This friend wants to have her dream wedding according to wife but is a little short on money. My wife had told me that friend would like some donations and if I was okay with her donating about $3,000 in USD. I told her no. She accepted my decision, but my friends are saying I'm an asshole because donating wouldn't affect my financial standing. I'm now wondering if I was actually in the wrong. Reasons I don't like said friend. When my wife and I were dating, she always encouraged her to leave me and that she could do better. Has made many remarks about my physical appearance. I have eczema, so my skin can get dry frequently. Also, I itched a lot as a kid, so I have bruises and cuts on my fingers and arms. So Reddit, am I the a? I'll try my best to answer any questions. It honestly doesn't matter whether you like the friend or not. You don't have to donate money to anyone for any reason, especially not for discretionary spending like a wedding. If she can't afford the wedding she wants, she needs to have the wedding she can afford. It's absurd to ask family and friends to donate money to fund your wedding, especially thousands of dollars. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This friend of your wife sounds like a piece of work. This her wedding, not yours and your wife's wedding. If this person wanted her dream wedding, she should have saved more money for it. You are not a bank for your wife's friend. Stand your ground. If she wants her dream wedding, then she can save up for it and pay for it herself. A lot of us have dreams that we actually need to work for. Not the asshole. How entitled is your wife, friend? If you can't afford your dream wedding, wait till you can afford it or do a cheaper wedding. I would never ask a friend for money for a wedding, no matter how rich they might be. Not the asshole. The bride is It is not the responsibility of guests to pay for the wedding of your dreams. No thank you. Refuse to discuss it further. Only losers ask friends to help pay for their weddings. Not the asshole. WTF is with weddings that make people spend money they don't have? Definitely not the asshole. It's not just about the money but the principle. If she hasn't been cool with you in the past, you're not wrong for not wanting to chip in for her dream wedding. Not the asshole. 3,000 is a lot regardless of how you feel about them. They're not even family. It's so cheeky of them to be asking for everyone to donate so they don't have to give it back. They can save the money they need like everyone else has to. You are not obliged to give them any money. Everyone calling you an AH is an AH themselves. Not the asshole. No matter how much money I had, I wouldn't contribute to the wedding fund of someone I loved. Never mind to someone I didn't like. I firmly believe that parties should cost within the host's means. Not the asshole. What is it about weddings that make people so entitled? The bride should adjust her expectations. You having more than $3,000 doesn't mean someone else deserves your money. We all want our own dream wedding. And ya know what? Somebody has to pay for it. It looks like your wife's unpleasant friend has you pegged to help fund her party. What does your wife think about this? And what about your friends telling you should cough up $3,000? Because you can afford it? How is any of this even remotely okay? WTF. The bride has been abusive to you. She isn't your friend. She belongs to your wife. I wouldn't give her a penny, and if invited, I wouldn't even go to the dream wedding. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Bridesmaids do not fund weddings. This gal is 35. Why didn't she start saving for her dream? Where is her family? The grooms? It doesn't matter why you don't like her, it's her wedding. People with money are not responsible to raise and be Santa to everyone else. Your friends kind of suck for saying you have the cash so you should pay. That's just not true. But stop telling everyone your business and they will stop comment on it. Not the asshole asking for donations to have an extravagant wedding is ridiculous. Not the asshole just because you may be financially able to help doesn't mean you should feel obligated to help. I've never known anyone to ask for donations for a wedding. I've seen a few pitch in weddings for the reception, but not for the event itself. Nonetheless, if you act so generously with the wedding, how much will she then request in donations for the honeymoon? Good to set the boundaries earlier than later would be my opinion. My wife know that's when I'd finished laughing. My response to that request would be not a chance. And that would be the end of the matter. Not the asshole. If they need donations to fund their wedding, maybe they should wait to marry or tone down the wedding. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If you have so much money, give it to the needy, not for the superficial wedding of a superficial woman. Not just hell to the number. 3K WTF? Will she come and clean your house once a week for the next few months? Why is it your responsibility to fund someone else's wedding? They are not even related to you. Since apparently she is seeking donations. Offer $750 to 1K in place of a wedding gift and tell them both to have a nice day. Their wedding is not your burden to carry. Not the asshole. And it's not about liking the friend. You can choose to do what you want with your money. If this friend decides to hold a wedding way outside their budget, that's a them issue. Not the asshole. Geez, what an entitled brat. Not a chance. From the sounds of it, wife made the ask as a duty to her friend. But she might not be all that upset if the answer is no. And she gets to hide behind the op as bad guy. Your wife has bad taste in friends. Have the wedding you can afford. She can kick rocks. Your wife needs to get a spine. She always encouraged her to leave me and that she could do better. Tell your wife's friend that she can do better than your money. Not the asshole. Though your wife is the off for still being friends with someone who is so disrespectful of her husband and relationship. Not the asshole. You only need one treason to say no to someone who asks for handouts. And this one has given you plenty. Not a big fan of your wife either. TBH. Not the asshole can't afford the wedding you want, then you have two choices. Wait until you can afford it or make compromises. Don't help pay for anyone's wedding. If they can't afford it, they're trying to do too much, and really the odds are that they will get divorced in the next 7 years, so really just a waste of money from the beginning. Not the asshole and her friend asking and your wife entertaining it is disgusting. TBH. Who cares how much money you have? She didn't earn it and should not feel entitled to it for her wedding. I've never heard of this before. Clearly not the asshole. This friend is freaking entitled AF. Not the asshole. If ya can't afford a big wedding, have a small one. People need to stop expecting others to subsidize their weddings. Not the asshole. Why do people think they are entitled to other people's money for their wedding? Have people not heard of this concept of living within your means? I really can't even believe your wife asked you to donate, like it a charity or going to a good cause. SMH. Not the asshole. But why is your wife still friends with this horrible woman? Not the asshole. The bride is an AH. Your wife is an AH. I'm assuming your wife knows how you feel about her friend. It doesn't matter what your financial situation is or whether or not you need to pay for their own dream weddings or adjust their dreams. Not the asshole. What your financial status is isn't relevant. She decided to have a wedding that she couldn't afford. That's on her.
Am I the asshole? For disciplining another person's child and ruining my sister's birthday? My husband M35 and I F34 were recently at my sister's F40 birthday party, which was quite big. A lot of family and friends were there, many of whom we had not met before. As the evening drew on, many people with young children left, but by the time the party was wrapping up at midnight, there were still a few teenagers around. My sister has two teenagers herself, F16 and M17, and they had all stuck together most of the night, so I hadn't interacted with many of them at all. That being said, while I was lending my sister a hand and helping to clean up, I overheard a conversation between my niece and another boy M18. He was trying to encourage her to take some of the leftover alcohol before the adults noticed, and my niece was repeatedly telling him that she did not want to. At this point, I will not lie, I was absolutely eavesdropping because it seemed to be getting worse and worse by the second. I think they thought they were being quiet and not drawing attention, but didn't anticipate me standing where I could hear them. I decided to step in when the boy told my niece that she could cop a feel if she took some of the alcohol, and he would show her a good time later. My niece said ew, gross, and I walked over and asked the boy how dare he speak to someone like that. He looked like a deer in headlights when he realized I had overheard the whole thing and kept stuttering, but I told him that he still had a lot more growing up to do if he thought any of what he said was okay. I told him that he should be ashamed of himself for showing so much disrespect to my niece. I said that she had already told him that she didn't want to take the drinks, and to try and pressure her and bargain with SX was a horrible thing to do. I hadn't noticed, but the boy's dad M37 had come over while I was talking and said that I had no right to discipline his child, and that his son had done nothing wrong aside from being a teenager. He said that I had emasculated his son in front of a peer, and I was shaming him for having urges which are totally normal for his age group. He did start to raise his voice at me when he was asking who I thought I was, which is then what attracted the attention of my husband and the rest of the party. My husband told him to back off and not speak to me that way, which is when my sister basically threw us all out and called me an embarrassment. She has subsequently texted me saying that I am not welcome again until I apologize to the boy and his father, and her whole birthday was ruined because I had to stick my nose where it didn't belong. She said the boy's dad was actually a co-worker of hers, and I have made her work life hell when it wasn't my place to say anything from the beginning. I am now starting to feel quite bad. Was I the not the asshole at all? I understand your sister is upset because of the co-worker relationship, but that boy needed to be embarrassed. It's evident why he behaved the way he did. Apple falling, tree close. He certainly wasn't going to be disciplined at home. In fact, you are so not the that I'm issuing a public thank you to you for your service to the community and to your niece. That child is 18, at that point it's not disciplining a child, it's calling out a bad behavior, adults' bad behavior. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Ask your sister how she'd feel about having a pregnant teenage daughter. For the dad, sorry you failed to raise your son properly, not to pressure girls into sex and stealing, was trying to keep my niece safe. This boy repeatedly harassed your niece to steal and drink alcohol when underage and to have sex with him despite her repeatedly telling him no. You weren't shaming a boy for his urges, as his poor excuse for a father insisted you were confronting a boy who apparently isn't familiar with the concept that no means no. About underage drinking. About sex with him. About anything. As for your sister, what is she thinking? And what kind of message is she sending her daughter? That the boy's behavior was okay and facing him down was inappropriate? Wow. Not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole. So your sister is okay with the pressure to steal alcohol. The pressure for sexual acts. She's more worried about the co-worker who is doing a bad job of raising his son than all the other stuff. Not the asshole. Considering your sister threw you out, and wants you to apologize to this guy's father, her co-worker whose son tried to coerce her younger daughter into sex and drinking, I'd ask her, Exactly how long has she been having an affair with this guy? The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men women to do nothing. Edmund Burke. The let him be, boys are boys attitude are why so many people get away with what they do to women. Not the asshole, your sister is absolutely disgusting. Oh heck no, that young man was way out of line. The dad and your sister are so wrong. You did the absolute right thing. Good for you for standing up for your niece and good for your husband standing up for both of you. Your sister should be ashamed for not supporting her daughter who was trying to do the right thing and being taunted, propositioned, and harassed. You are not the asshole. Please be sure to let your niece know she was doing the right thing and that she always has a safe place with you and your husband. Not the asshole. This kind of boys will be boys type of treatment is what raises future rapists and sex offender. BC they think their urges are more important than someone else's feelings. And that they can get away with such crimes. So sad that your sister isn't willing to protect her daughter. It just teaches her child that if something were to happen and they didn't defend themselves, then it is their fault. And that their own mother won't support then BC they need to stand up for themselves. Ugh. This is interesting. I was gonna call this a fake rage bait story, until you added the extra details. And I know women who are like that and will coddle boys but have firm rules for ladies. I also know women who often side with men who they are romantically involved with over their own child. And I know women who try to raise strong independent daughters who can take care of themselves. So, not the asshole for standing up for what's right over teaching some existential lesson. Not the asshole. Thank you for stepping in and protecting your niece and future females. How can we expect you woman to stand up to this behavior if we don't show them how? Mother of a teenage girl, I would be pissed if my family ignored that sort of behavior. You sister is more concerned about saving face. If this is how she treats you when his father started shouting at you, just imaging what she would have said to your niece if she stood up for herself. She would be blaming her for ruining the night. Not the asshole. So your sis is okay with that boy sexually harassing her daughter? Someone at a party sexually harassed her daughter and she's concerned about her social life at work? Wow. Mother of the year over here everyone s. Not the asshole. Edit a word. Not the asshole. You correctly defended your niece from a gross situation wherein she was being pressured with both sex and alcohol. Would your sister rather you leave the boy to encourage her daughter into underage drinking? Even if nothing happened, I bet the niece was somewhat happy that someone had her back in that situation. I know I would be. I'd message her and tell her exactly what that boy was trying to get her daughter to do under her nose. So an 18-year-old boy was trying to talk a 16-year-old girl into drinking alcohol, presumably in a country with a legal drinking age of 21, and then having sex with her. The 16-year-old girl was clearly uncomfortable saying no, but the 18-year-old boy kept pushing. WTF is wrong with your sister? Not only are you not the asshole, she is. Very much so. Not the asshole at all. It's pretty clear where the kid gets his future sexual assaulter-esque attitude from. Absolutely disgusting that your sister reacted the say she did. The difference between a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old can be massive. He's almost 18. How long until his birthday? What he was doing was 100 sexual harassment and actual crimes. Your sister is insane and your niece is very lucky to have someone like you in her life. Not the asshole. Hell would freeze over before I apologized. Once upon a time I was a teenage boy. I did many stupid things, and also had lusty urges. But you know what I never did? This. This is not normal behavior and needs to be called out, just like your did. Your sister is having a hard time. Her daughter was sexually harassed at her birthday party. She should be pissed, just not at you. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole? For telling my sister that her husband is right and her baby name idea is stupid? I have a twin sister, Maisie. Maisie is pregnant with her first and due in February, and the baby is going to be a boy. Last week she opened up to me and said that she and her husband have been fighting over baby names, and she said she's sick of hearing about it and just wants to settle on a name that they both like. Maisie and her husband are both a bit geeky, not that there's anything wrong with that, and she told me she wants to name the baby Luffy, as in the character from One Piece. Her husband doesn't want this name and says the kid will be bullied. She asked for my honest opinion and I told her that the name is silly and her husband is right. I tried to say this gently, but really how gently can you tell someone their idea is stupid? I suggested that she goes back to the drawing board on that one and maybe look at names of lesser-known anime characters if that's what she wants. Maisie got upset and said the name is cute and we're both just being closed-minded. I told her she asked for my honest opinion and she got it. She kept trying to convince me that it was a good name and the conversation was becoming hysterical, and I told her it's a stupid name, end of discussion. She started crying and left, and since then she's been giving me the cold shoulder. Our parents told me to just tell Maisie that I'm sorry because my words really upset her and I should have been nicer about it. But it is a stupid name for a child outside of the anime world. She can give the baby a normal name but call him Luffy as a nickname or something. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Why can't she just call the baby Luffy, but actually give them a name that is not fucking ridiculous? Luffy is kinda funny though. I will keep it in mind if we ever get a new cat. Not the asshole. I think she's losing sight that she's naming a future adult, not a forever baby. She could use it as a nickname, but as a legal name? It's awful. Kids are brutal, they'll find any reason to bully if they're inclined to bully, but parents don't need to hand them material. Not the asshole. Luffy is a stupid name. Can you imagine Luffy Jones on a resume? Haha, come on. Our parents told me to just tell Maisie that I'm sorry because my words really upset her and I should have been nicer about it. This has me wondering. Were you actually mean, or more harsh than you let on in this post? Or are your parents just protective of your sister? Luffy is not a good name for a child in my opinion. It's more suited for a stuffed animal, or a new innovative pillow brand. Or something. You can have a unique name without it being comical. Not the asshole. That is a stupid name. That kid will be bullied. Kids have to live with their name until they're 18. Just because someone is super into anime or DD or whatever doesn't mean that should carry over into naming their child. Different? Fine. Unisex? Fine. A name practically guaranteed to get a kid bullied? You're an R. Luffy for a boy is a terrible name. Even for a girl I'm very hesitant because it's way too cute. But she asked your opinion and you gave it, not the asshole. She's naming a baby, not a puppy. That kid will absolutely be bullied. Not R. Her child is not a billboard for her fandom. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The day a bully starts to call her Luff and then transitions that to Muff will be the beginning of her demise. Not the asshole. Luffy's name is Monkey D. Luffy, why didn't she consider naming him Monkey? Not the asshole. Tell her to imagine future Dr. Luffy Smith or President Luffy Smith or even Teacher Luffy Smith. It is a cute name for a baby, but she is having a whole human who will become an adult someday. Not the asshole. People really need to learn not to ask questions they don't want the answer to. I think it's always tacky when people name their kids after pop culture characters when it's a unique name and easy to associate with the show. You're absolutely right that the kid would get bullied. People who ask for an honest opinion and then get angry when it's given RTA. Not the asshole. I would have told my sister the exact same thing. If she's asking for your honest opinion, she can't be upset if it's different than what she wants to hear. Not the asshole. She shouldn't ask questions that she doesn't truly want an answer to. On another note, you could suggest Luffy as a nickname. She could use a name like Lucas or Lucian, which will work for him as an adult and make it less likely for him to be bullied or turned away from a job. Woman shrugging. Edit autocorrect made Luffy to Kiddy. I had to fix it, rolling eyes face. Not the asshole. Not a fan of fandom names overall, but if she really must, then she should pick a character from the show with a real name: Robin, Frankie, Brooke, or Tony, smiley face. Not the asshole. I love One Piece, both the anime series and shockingly the live-action movie, but I sure as hell wouldn't name my kid Luffy. Toothy Luffy or Puffy Luffy seem like natural nicknames. Poor kid. Eve, Usopp, Nico, Kobe, or Shanks from the series are way names better after the kid is 5-6. Info: is she giving birth to a kitten? Perhaps a puppy? Some other cute pet who has no chance of being introduced? As all rise for the Honorable Judge Luffy last name. Not the asshole. Luffy and Chili are both name ideas that should never come to fruition. Forcing your fandom on your offspring is always a bad idea. Natar. Baby names need both parents' consent. One no veto. Look, she can call him Luffy as a nickname, but he needs a different name. I think these discussions need to be between your sister and her husband. You may have been a bit harsh, but she kept pushing it. Not the asshole. Natar, since she asked. And both parents should agree on the name. I would just like to point out all of the people that named their kid Khaleesi when GOT first came out and how they regret it now. She should obviously give him a real name and call him Luffy as a pet name. As it is and always will be, don't ask questions if you just want to be agreed with. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She asked for your honest opinion and now she's mad that she got it. Naming a kid after a fandom is unbelievably risky, even if it's a normal name. Picking a name that is immediately, identifiably from an anime? No. She needs to remember that she's not just naming a baby, she's naming a person. The name being cute is not the only consideration. He will be named Luffy as a cute baby, and as a 15-year-old teen boy, and as a 30-year-old man. Okay, probably not as a 30-year-old, because legal name changes are a thing. Not the asshole. This is your nephew and your mom's grandson. Do you guys care about him? If yes, then don't let this name happen. Your sister isn't listening and just wants to get her way. Try to get her to see sense before he comes. Not the asshole. It's ultimately up to her what to name the child, but she asked for your honest opinion and you gave it. Luffy is not a good name choice. As a child they will be bullied and as an adult they will not be taken seriously. Also, naming your child after a fandom is a straight-up awful choice. The child might have no interest in anime. One Piece could have a new season or reboot that changes the meaning of the name. That child is going to have a whole lifetime of Luffy, Luffy. No, it's from a TV show. Yes, my mom really liked it. As a middle name, fine. As a first name? Kinda cruel. Not the asshole. She asked you a question and you gave her an honest answer. You tried to give your answer in a really nice way and then she flew off the handle. She seems like she only wanted you to be a yes man and not answer honestly. If she wanted that she shouldn't have asked. Not the asshole. She kept on after you gave your opinion, that's on her. An adult named Luffy, good grief. Not the asshole. I was actually considering Luffy for a pet, so cute name. The problem for an actual human male is that there is no way for it to grow up. If they are actually considering Luffy for a little girl, I would suggest that they switch over to Nami. Not the asshole. She asked, you answered. That's not a guarantee you'll agree with her. You were honest and that's all you can do. And yes, that poor kid would be teased for that name. Not the asshole. She asked for your opinion and you gave it. Luffy is something you'd name a hamster. Not the asshole. She's naming a human, not a puppy. Luffy is not a human name. Also, naming a child should be 2 yes or it's a no. Am I the asshole for missing my brother's gender reveal? I don't think I'm an R but would like some input. I F31 have a brother M23 who is going to have his first baby. My family, meaning my mom, dad, sisters, my husband and myself, are all happy for him. We met up at my mom's house early September for dad's birthday and he and his girlfriend were mentioning the upcoming gender reveal in October. I told him a specific date in October that I had already an event to go to. A friend of mine is celebrating her birthday by bar hopping downtown in a party bus. We are all going to share the cost since it was quite expensive. He assured me that it was going to be on a Sunday. Time skipped to yesterday. He sent off the invitation to the gender reveal via our entire family's WhatsApp group chat and it was the exact day of the party. I responded by asking why was it on Saturday and that I had a previous commitment that I had RSVP to. His response was, I guess a party bus is more important than a gender reveal. I reminded him that we had already talked about it. My aunt chimed in reminding us that it is her and another cousin's birthday. He said that he will not change the date because some of his girlfriend's relatives are coming from other states. Will I be the R if I miss his gender reveal? Not the asshole. You had plans. You told him you were busy on a specific date. It doesn't matter what the plans are, you already made them before he planned this. It's an invitation, not a summons. You aren't required to go. Not the asshole. A party bus is more important than a gender reveal. Let's not hide the real truth. Almost every single thing happening anywhere ever is more important than a gender reveal party. Need to floss? More important. Neighbor's child wants a piggyback ride? More important. Just feel like taking a dump and reading Reddit? More important. Not the asshole. He picked the one date when you said you weren't available. He's the R for not taking that into account. As for his comment about a party bus apparently being more important than a gender reveal, I'd say most things are more important than gender reveals. Unbelievable that people are coming from other states just to see if the cupcakes are pink or blue. Go and have fun with your friend on the party bus. Not the asshole. Genitalia reveal parties are dumb and fucking weird. Not the asshole. Could we please stop with extravagant gender reveals? We didn't know the second of our first baby until his birth. For our daughter, we found out through genetic testing. We video called both sets of grandparents and held up a onesie. Then whenever anybody asked us what we're having we said it's a girl. NBD. Also, technically should be called a sex reveal party because gender is a social construct and sex is anatomical. Not the asshole. 1. You had plans that they were made aware of in advance. 2. They TA for having a gender reveal in the first place. Why does everyone expect you to two parties these days? No. You get one, the baby shower. That's it. Not the asshole. Gender reveals are the most idiotic of invented events and if I were invited to one, I'd find a reason not to go. Not the asshole. I can't believe we have like a whole industry involving gender reveals. No one gives a damn if you have a boy or a girl. We care that you have a healthy baby and a safe delivery. It's just a party to me and parties aren't mandatory. Not the asshole. A gender reveal party is not a big milestone event. The party bus is more important than a gender reveal because literally anything is more important than a gender reveal. Not the asshole. The baby isn't going to remember that you missed their party. Your friend will possibly, depending on how much alcohol you've consumed. Gender reveals are stupid. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Gender reveal parties are stupid, just tell people the gender and quit all the bullshit. I guess a party bus is more important than a gender reveal. You would be correct, sir. Or just give me a call later and let me know if the ultrasound showed a dick. Or don't. Because it doesn't matter one bit. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What Reddit has shown in that gender reveal parties are usually shit shows with collateral damages. Now man. You know your brother's gender. You are not the asshole. You told your brother the date you were busy in October, he assured you his party would be a sun not a sat, then he chose the one day you're busy. Plus gender reveal parties are silly. Are people supposed to bring presents to that and then again for the baby shower? If so, it's a gift grab and or a someone needs attention party. My apologies, but when I read brother's gender reveal, I pictured him in a trench coat, flashing guests, I'm a boy. Not the asshole, enjoyed the bus ride. I think it's acceptable to miss a gender reveal for no reason at all. Not the asshole. He changed the date in you. And anyone who throws a gender reveal is an R. Not the asshole, it's probably a boy, a girl or a forest fire. Party bus seems safer and more fun. Also you already stated you were busy that before they even had set a date. Not the asshole. I'm an old dude and I think gender reveal parties are universally stupid, but if you want to have them they're fine for the couple, the parents of the couple, and anybody else who wants to come. A perfect excuse to miss a gender reveal gift grab. You should thank him. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Gender reveals are stupid and you had plans before he even picked the date, but it's clear from his reaction that he's going to be pissed at you. So maybe you can do a compromise where someone FaceTimes you in when they're doing the reveal so you can be there. What's more important, attending a get-together to reveal a baby's gender pre-birth, or being an awesome aunt in the child's life post-birth? Not the asshole. I'm so glad I had kids before gender reveals were a thing. I know times are changing, but I also kinda liked how baby showers were a women's thing. Men did not attend and frankly didn't want to go to your party. Chances are almost 100 the baby is either a girl or a boy. Not really that big of a surprise. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'd go bar hopping over a ridiculous gender reveal party any day. Don't let your brother guilt you into skipping a prepaid prior engagement. Absolutely not the asshole. It's not like missing a christening or first birthday. Not the asshole. You gave him your availability. He chose to ignore it. If your attendance was so critical he would not have done so. Not the asshole. No offense to people who get into them, but WTF is the point of a gender reveal party anyway? A text would surely suffice. Not the asshole. Gender reveals are super creepy and gross. Not the asshole. Everything is more important than a gender reveal party. I don't understand how these coincide anyways. He's having a midnight gender reveal? Couldn't you do dinner with the family and go on the party bus after or something? I don't know. Still not the asshole. You said can't make it this day and they made it that day. Seems like either your brother or his partner played a big ole fuck you to make you look bad, man shrugging. Destroy all gender reveals. Not the asshole because gender reveals are absolute nonsense. I'd say just tell me which it is, there's no need to kill a pilot or set a forest on fire. Gender reveal are cringy events and lame excuses for showing off Instagrammable bullshit and pictures. Fuck these. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You told him way earlier about that block date. Besides, I really don't understand that gender reveal stuff. One should think the baby's name was more important than the baby's genitals. Really, folks? Not the asshole. Gender reveal parties are stupid anyway. Not the asshole. Nobody cares if someone's baby has a penis or a vagina. Not the asshole. Gender reveals are not that important. Make a point to go to the baby shower and show your support, but girl, enjoy that party buzz. Not the asshole. Babies are the most important thing in the parents. It's a status update to everyone else. There is no event that would trump the B-Day party. It trumps gender reveal, baby shower, heck it trumps day baby is born, and the next 3-4 birthdays. You should go to whatever party you have more fun at.
Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's destination wedding? My sister recently announced that she's having a destination wedding in a tropical paradise. Sounds amazing, right? Well, here's the catch: she expects everyone to pay for their own travel and accommodations. Now, I love my sister and want to support her, but attending this wedding would be a huge financial burden for me. I've been saving up for a down payment on a house, and the cost of the trip would set me back significantly. When I told my sister that I couldn't afford to go, she got really upset and accused me of not caring about her happiness. She even said that I'm being selfish for prioritizing my financial goals over her big day. I tried explaining my situation and suggesting alternative ways to celebrate her wedding, like throwing her a local reception or helping with wedding planning, but she wasn't having any of it. Yesterday, I found out she had been telling our extended family, who were also going to the wedding, that I had refused to pay for my share and told her that she was a snobby brat for making everyone pay for themselves to go to her wedding. My phone has been blowing up with texts and calls either defending me or calling me rude, a brat, or selfish. Now I'm feeling guilty and torn. On one hand, I don't want to miss my sister's special day, but on the other hand, I don't want to sacrifice my financial stability. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend her destination wedding? Nope. Never give in to blackmail. You shouldn't sacrifice your down payment for your home to attend a wedding celebration. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I've said it elsewhere here, but will repeat it again often. These wedding packages offer free things or discounts for the bridal couple if their guests pay the full price. So, your sister may be harassing you because it's built into the guest pricing that your costs would be helping to pay for her wedding or accommodations. She's literally calling you selfish because she wants you to pay for her wedding. Not the asshole. If someone is going to have a destination wedding and not cover the expenses for the people they want there, they can't get mad when those people cannot afford to attend. You were not the asshole before, but now that she's spread lies to the family, you are even less the I'd send a single message to everyone blasting you. Be calm and blunt. Facts only. Tell them the conversation from your end. Show proof if you have texts. Stress you do not appreciate her lying nor them attacking you without asking for your side first. Then state you are absolutely not going after how you've been treated. Then stop engaging and wash your hands of it. Not the asshole. Just tell people the truth. People should recognize 1. Nobody really cares about their wedding. 2. If they do an expensive destination, not as many people will go. Not the asshole. That's how destination weddings work. Not the asshole. Anyone planning an out-of-town wedding should know that some people won't be able to attend due to financial, work, or other reasons. Whining to your family about your decision makes sis the Not the asshole. Haven't even read the post, but nobody is ever the for not attending a destination wedding where they're expected to bear all the burden of attending. The fact that she's lying about you should be a huge clue that you're not in the wrong and she knows she's the problem. Not the asshole. If someone has a destination wedding, they should expect the guest list to be much smaller. I've never understood why they would think it's okay to make someone spend that much. Not the asshole. When people have a destination wedding and they don't pay for travel accommodations, usually the bride/groom do not. They cannot be upset when invitees cannot attend due to cost. Your sister is doubly the as she is now lying to family about your conversation. Not the asshole. Time and time again people don't understand that an invitation is not a summons. Not the asshole. You made it clear you can't afford to go, but your sister is tough for telling your extended family that terrible lie. Let your sister's fiancé know she's a selfish entitled brat and liar so the wedding will be cancelled and he can avoid a messy divorce. Not the asshole. And now I wouldn't go on the grounds that she lied in order to get the rest of the family upset with you. Not the asshole. She chose a destination wedding knowing that many people wouldn't be able to attend. She's free to make that choice. And you are free to decline. You are not required or obligated to sacrifice your own financial health in order to make her pretty princess dreams come true. Not the asshole. As someone who had a destination wedding, I made sure to save additional money up for family I wanted to come that couldn't afford it so that they could still be included. If you are unable to go due to finances, your sister should either help you out or accept that you can't make it work. Not the asshole. You're not required to go, and if it's something that would hurt you financially, that's an incredibly valid reason. I live in Scotland but am from the US and my wedding is going to be here. And I'm inviting family and friends from home fully understanding that it might not be financially feasible and would never even dream of shaming someone for telling me they won't be coming, but also no one is expecting me to pay for their flights or accommodation. Not the asshole. Put your financial health first. Sis is being manipulative and trying to guilt you. She told you you didn't care about her happiness and you were selfish. That's just good old gaslighting. I think she let the cat out of the bag with what she told everyone else. She said you refused to pay for your share. To me that sounds like sis is expecting everyone to front the cost of her wedding. Not the asshole. People are allowed to have their destination weddings, but they don't get to be upset when people can't make it. I'm sorry that your sister is selfish and can't see from your point of view. And I'm sorry you feel guilty, but the fact of the matter is that destination wedding cost a lot of money, even for the guests. You are absolutely not an for not being able to afford to attend. Not the asshole. If someone has a destination wedding without footing the bill for guests, then they need to except not everyone can attend. Period. Your sister needs to grow up, and you need to take care of your financials. Not the asshole. I can't imagine that you are the only person who has decided not to attend. You should prioritize your financial goals ahead of her wedding. Don't feel guilty, you have no reason to. Not the asshole. If you can't afford to go, then you can't afford to go. Not the asshole. People who plan destination weddings should be fully understanding of those who cannot afford to go. Do not put yourself in a financially poor situation to attend what is essentially a party. Just send a wedding gift and well wishes. If it mattered so much to her, she can pay for your trip or switch to a more local venue. Not the asshole. In the end, you have to take care of yourself first. If going to a destination wedding will set you back financially, don't do it. Your sister should be understanding. Disappointed, sure, but ultimately understanding. The fact that she is not your fault whatsoever. Not the asshole. If you plan a destination wedding, you have to be willing to accept that there will probably be people that will not attend your destination wedding. Not the asshole. She is for not accepting your reasons and even more so for lying about you. Not the asshole. We put over $1,000 down payment for a destination wedding. The couple broke up and our money was non-returnable. We only got credit for flights. Never again. You are saving up for a house. Something you'll be in for years if not decades. And your sister wants you to put that off for her waste of money vacation wedding? Of course you're not the asshole.
Am I the asshole for using the men's room? My husband and I were at a craft fair that was being held at a brewery. I felt nature's call, but saw the line for the women's room. So I waited. 1 or 2 drinks later, it's time for the restroom. First, I go to the women's room. There are 10 women waiting in line. Then, I look at the men's room. Both restrooms have completely open doors. AITA breweries. There is no one waiting, and there are 3 females in the men's room washing their hands. So I think, soil my pants or use the men's room? My bladder chose the men's room. After the fact, I told my husband about it, thinking it would be a funny anecdote. He got so angry thinking that I was using the men's room for sexual reasons. I slept on the couch for the next 2 days. My argument was that in an absolute emergency, whatever bathroom you choose doesn't matter. Whenever nature calls for him, he will go pull over wherever or whenever. The transition from, I used the men's room because I had to pee so bad, haha, to you went because you wanted the sexual attention is sparse. Without more context, no. But if there is something more to this, then maybe. But most likely no. Edit spelling. Is your husband insane? Has he never been to a concert? Women use the men's stalls all the time whenever lines are long. Such an obvious not the asshole. I was using the men's room years ago and heard a noise behind me. 2 women came in because the women's room was crowded and they had been drinking. They gave me wolf whistles and commented on my size and the fact that I was right-handed. Probably not the asshole in this case, but women thinking that using the men's room has no impact on men is you're the asshole in the extreme. I do agree they all should be separate and unisex. Either a lot of context is missing here or your husband is literally insane. Not the asshole, emo bathrooms shouldn't even be gendered, just make a fuckload of stalls, proper ones without these massive gaps in them like how they're made now lol, and let people pee in peace. I say use whatever restroom is available. Be it the men's or women's restroom. But don't get all up in arms when a man uses the women's restroom. My personal feel on this subject is to just create unisex restrooms. Just a line of stalls with a toilet in each one. And then communal wash areas. No rooms where only ladies or men can go into. What if I'm a man who sometimes uses the women's when desperate, if the cubicle in the men's is occupied for ages or the toilet is broken? Like, should I just soil myself? Not the asshole, but as an adult you could be a lot better about bathroom planning. Like, get in the long line when you realize you have to go and you see the line. My 4-year understands this.
Am I the asshole for telling my son he has to wear clothes? My son M19 loves to just wear underwear in his room for whatever reason. He'll throw on a shirt and pants if he has to step out to go to the bathroom, come to the kitchen, talk to anybody, etc., but otherwise he's just in his underwear. I've M48 told him multiple times that I dislike this and that he has to wear clothes in case his mom or I have to come into his room. He says that if we start knocking he'll throw something on and then it'll be okay. I told him he still has to wear clothes and then he made another excuse and said it was too hot. In the summer I tend to set the thermostat to around 85 or 87 to save money. I turn it down to around 80-82 once the sun goes down because then it takes less energy. He says that it makes him sweat when he's just sitting around not doing anything, and I rejoined by saying if it's so hot go spend a couple hours outside. See if it still feels hot. We live in Oklahoma and it routinely gets up to 100 in the summers. He rolled his eyes at this and we just kept arguing. I'm wondering now if I'm the asshole. Am I? Info: you all don't knock before going into his room? That's nuts. You're the asshole. He's 19. Plus it's not like he's walking around naked. It's not really any different than him wearing shorts. A teenager living at home has very little privacy. Their room is the only safe place they truly have. Why would want your son to be uncomfortable in his own room? I do understand the need to save cost. I also live in Oklahoma. However, 85 is a bit hot. And he needs to cool off and relax. Let him be comfortable in his own space, please. You're the asshole. This is his room, where he can spend the day naked if he wishes. Why does it bother you so much that he's in his underwear in his own room? Knock on his door and he'll get dressed before he opens it. It's the best solution for everyone. You're the asshole. This post is a joke, right? If it was 85 degrees in my house, I can promise you I wouldn't be wearing anything at all, not even underwear. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. I'm not trying to be rude here, but this isn't how you treat someone you love. You need to see a therapist and figure out why you need to control your son's life down to the micromanagement level. There is no good reason why him sitting in his own room, his safe space, the only physical space he can call his, bothers you whatsoever. Go see a professional and repair what's left of your relationship with your son. And use your goddamn air conditioner. You're the asshole for policing how he dresses in his own room behind a closed door and for keeping your house at 87 degrees and not understanding why someone would be uncomfortable. He's 19 years old. Stop trying to control his behavior. Certainly you have bigger problems than this to contend with. He's in his room and his door is closed. You should be knocking. And you should damn well have the respect for your 19-year-old to wait 17 seconds while he pulls on pants in preparation for your entry. Get over yourself. You're the asshole. There's this thing where you ball your hand into a fist and hit it lightly on the door to alert someone you're there. YTA, and it's too hot. Stop being cheap. You're the asshole. He's an adult. It's his room. And what do you expect when you have it that insanely hot in the house on purpose? Sounds miserable. You're the asshole. 100 at 19. You shouldn't just be walking in his room without knocking anyway. Who cares what he wears in his room? This is just about control for you. You're the asshole. Huge one. 1. He's not naked around the house. 2. Why do you actually care? 3. 87 degrees in the summer? That's torturous. 4. Your ridiculous temperature requirements are the reason he's wearing only underwear in the first damn place. You want him to get dressed? Keep the house a humane temperature. You're the asshole. If he is in his own room and not wandering around in the common areas in his underwear, then why is This a problem? He is 19. You absolutely should always knock before entering his room and don't forget to wait until he says you can enter. Why on earth can you not respect his privacy? 87? That's pretty intense. Jesus Christ, dude. You're keeping your house at disgusting temperatures and he's sweating his balls off. Leave him alone and knock on his damn door. He's 19 and entitled to a little privacy. You're the asshole. If the kid is hot, is respectful enough to put clothes on when he leaves or someone enters the room. What exactly is your issue? You don't have to watch him sit in his room. Why do you care? AITA, you're the asshole. This is silly drama for no good reason. If you're going to keep the house temperature set at sweating ass off miserable, then you should expect all your family to be wearing just their underwear. Edit sentence. You're the asshole. What is the point of having AC if you're going to use it to slow cook your family? If you're trying to save on energy costs, turn it off and open your windows and use fans. Or use it to actually cool the house. Opinion from an Aussie who has no AC and over 100 high temps for summer. Also really struggling to work out how his nudity in his bedroom affects you. If you barge into an adult's private room without warning, you're probably gonna see skin. Just knock. Are you not knocking before entering his room? That's way more disrespectful than him existing in his own bedroom naked. TBH, there is no reason you even need to have any knowledge of how he dresses in his bedroom. It's not your business at all. You're the asshole, very much so. Also, I could not be in a house that temperature without being in my underwear or naked a lot of the time, TBH. It may work for you, but that would truly be unbelievably uncomfortable to me, to the point I'd have trouble enjoying or accomplishing other things. You're the asshole, just knock, you can do it. You're the asshole. He's right. Just knock. You're the asshole. He's in his room. And he puts on clothes when he leaves his room. If he paraded around the house this way, then maybe you'd be in the right, but based on your post, you're the asshole. You're the asshole, and you genuinely sound like a control freak. Who cares that he's wearing underwear in his room? In privacy. In the sweltering heat? In 5 years. Please don't post about wondering why your son hasn't talked to you since he moved out. You're the asshole. You should not be entering your adult son's room without permission. You're the asshole. Why should he wear clothes in his own bedroom? You're the asshole. Even if you set the thermostat to the 80s, it's still going to be hot. Why aren't you at least knocking on his door? He made the every reasonable argument that if you and your wife knock first, he'll throw something on before answering. You're the asshole, and if you want him to move out, just say so. Everyone has made every point except for one. Testosterone and other sex hormones peak at 18-20, which also makes men extremely hot temperature. As you age, sex hormones dip and you get colder. You may feel fine in that heat, but to him it feels 10-15 degrees hotter. Have some empathy and get the guy an AC unit, or let him wear what he wants in his room to feel comfortable. You're the asshole. All you're doing is having a pissing contest with your son and other alpha male BS. If he is in his room with the door closed and preferably with the blinds shut, it's perfectly acceptable for him to be undressed. If you prefer he be dressed or put on a robe, do what polite people do: knock and wait for the occupant of the room to say it's okay to enter. Quite frankly, with a thermostat normally set at 85, you are lucky he is putting on any additional layers when walking around the house. YTA. He's covered. Why are you worried? You're his parents, not something you have not seen before. He's dressed when he leaves his room. Sounds like insecurity to me. You're the asshole. Get over yourself and learn to knock before you enter someone's room. You're the asshole. Leave him be.
Am I the asshole? For not taking down our 12-foot skeleton because a neighbor's son is afraid of it? Okay, so we moved to this neighborhood back in April and have been making so many plans for Halloween decorations. I have always wanted the giant skeleton. If you aren't familiar, just search 12-foot skeleton and you'll find it. I finally ordered one. We put it up on September 1st because I was just too excited to wait. People on my street all laughed about it and the teens down the street came to take pictures with it. My next door neighbor is going to make stuff to go with it. Unfortunately, there's younger kids who are a few streets away who see it on their walk home from school and one of them cries and gets scared of it. So the mom approached me and asked if I could possibly take it down because it's a little too scary. Emo, it's not scary, it's silly. I don't like scary Halloween, I like silly Halloween. I don't even listen to true crime podcasts like every other basic girl these days. I wrote this drinking a PSL. It's me, I'm the basic girl. Stop getting your panties in a knot. I'm literally watching Gilmore Girls right now. The call is coming from inside the house. It is a joke about me being basic. True crime is literally one of the most popular, trendy things for young women right now. It's Taylor Swift, true crime, PSL. I like 2-3 of these things. Please blink if you understand the joke. Do you still not get it? Hi, I'm too much of a baby to like true crime. I cannot go fully basic. I am only part-time basic. Jesus Christ, tell me you get it now? I asked the mom if putting on a silly hat, a boa, silly shirt or something would work. She said no and asked again for me to take it down. I told her that I have wanted one of these forever and that I am not going to take it down. I suggested she find a different route to from the bus stop. She made a face and said, really? I said I spent $300 on this bad boy and I want to enjoy it. Not to sound too dramatic, but in this world on fire, something as stupid as a 12-foot skeleton brings me joy. Then she looked behind me and smirked and said that $300 shouldn't break the bank, but that judging by the house we bought, she should have realized money was an issue for us. Then she said, but it costs nothing to be kind to a little boy who is scared. I'm not particularly clever or quick, so I said okay, well, thanks for the suggestion and went back to eating. She stood there and then took a picture, presumably to blast me on social media or her mommy groups or whatever. Whenever she walks by she scowls doorbell cam and takes another picture. My husband agrees we don't need to take it down. There is no hoe or anything. Her going down a different street would not even add more to her walk to get the kids. I think she is being unreasonable and playing up that whole corny mama bear thing. But am I the asshole? Not the asshole. It's true that it costs nothing to be kind to a little boy who is scared. But it also costs nothing to teach that child about how to deal with their fears and that the world doesn't cater to you. Honestly, I'd buy a second giant one next week. After a couple of days, have the giant skeletons hold hands. Then get a third one the week after, of a little skeleton. Then maybe a dog skeleton the week after that. And a cat skeleton being chased by the dog skeleton the week after that. ETA not the asshole. But it costs nothing to be kind to a little boy who is scared walk home a different way from school. Not the asshole, but do you have an additional $300 and have you seen the werewolf? Nata. If the kid gets scared from a plastic skeleton then that kid is definitely not old enough to be waking alone streets away to school. If they really want you to take it down, tell them that they can pay you for it and an extra cost for putting it up and taking it down. Not the asshole. This woman is crazy. Keep your skeleton up and dress it like her. That's a great way to motivate me to make my yard scarier. If the kids aren't crying, it isn't Halloween. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's sweet that you offered to put a silly hat on to make it more friendly appearing to the boy. Nata. The world does revolve around her child. I am sick and tired of bad parents thinking everyone should cater to their child. If she was a good mom, she would her child. teach him it is just plastic and will harm no one. She is failing her son. Why give up something you have always wanted on your own property that a bad parent wants removed? Those huge skeletons are hilarious. Not the asshole, you should buy another one and really piss her off. Lol, what? Seriously? Not the asshole in any way, fuck that neighbor and fuck that kid, rolling eyes face, the sheer audacity of some parents, ridiculous. Not the asshole, find another route from bus stop is the answer. Really? Yes, lady, really, as you don't get to decide on another person's decorations in their own yard, like ever. And yes, that is yours and mine final answer. I love Halloween too. Next time she confronts you, why don't you ask her if you can introduce the kids to the skeleton? Give him a name and a story to share and maybe he won't be so scary anymore. Not the asshole, your yard. Personally, I would put a huge zombie flanking it with a vampire leading the pack. Not the asshole if it was a direct neighbor and they saw it every single time they walked out the front door, and depending on the age of the kid I'd consider taking it down until closer to Halloween. However, considering she doesn't even live on the same street, fuck her. Heavily biased by my own relationships with my neighbors, I would have tried to find some compromise, or even offer to have the kid come over and help dress it up, because if I ever bought a 12-feet skeleton, you bet your ass I'd be putting some sort of costume on it too to work through fears. But right here. Then she looked behind me and smirked and said that $300 shouldn't break the bank, but that judging by the house we bought, she should have realized money was an issue for us. Nope. She's done. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, I can see why younger kids would be afraid of it, but after the way that mom acted and insulted you for no reason, I'd definitely leave it up. What's she gonna do, protect him his entire life? Not the asshole, the world is not going to change every time the kid gets scared. It is your house, your yard, your decision. Not the asshole, but she is. Enjoy your skelly. She has time to demean you, take pics, make smirks, she needs new hobby. If a neighbor comments to you based on her posts but sure to explain you offered clothing options and her targeted rude comments, she has a wonderful opportunity to walk her kid through desensitizing an experience, like show how these images are just air and a sock, etc. Deconstructing scary things with facts is incredibly, kid is missing out. Not the asshole. We have one. We live on a school street with a lot of kids walking around. One kid is scared, so we just told him to give Scrimp the skeleton a new silly name. If anyone asked me to take him down, I'd probably laugh and ask where they bought the audacity. Not the asshole. Make the skeleton give her the middle finger next time she's set to go by. Have her pay you $300 for you to take it down and let her have it. Then go get a new skeleton for $300. Malicious compliance, you took the skeleton she disliked down. Honest question, do you live in Southeast Virginia? A house a few streets away put up a giant skeleton a couple of weeks ago, and the next door app and local FB pages are divided on it. I personally love it. Not the asshole. Mama Bear isn't doing her kid any favors by this, because she's not showing him how to address and manage his fears. Putting a feather boa or something silly on it was a great idea. She could have walked him past it each day and laughed at the silly skeleton. By making an enormous fuss, she's effectively telling her son that there's something here to really, truly be afraid of. Legit, there's a family in the area with two like 20-feet skeletons on the lawn, in front of like 15 actual school desks. Where did they even get these? At which 15 child skeletons sit, some asleep, some with hands raised, etc. They bought one like 2 Halloweens ago and have been escalating for every event they can think of an idea for ever since. It's amazing. Not the asshole. Go big or go home. The neighborhood loves it. Am I the asshole? For not having much of a reaction to my daughter coming out and introducing us to her partner? My daughter is 23 and she requested dinner with us because she had some important to tell us, being my wife and I. She introduced us and came out. My wife was emotional, gave her a big hug, and told her how proud she was. I on the other hand did not react to her coming out. I honestly did not care about that part. I was honest her partner was cool, and she was very interesting. My wife told me I was rude for ignoring our daughter's announcement. I told my wife that I did not care who she was attracted to, all I cared about was if she was happy. I tried to explain I did not care about that stuff, people like who they like, I don't need labels for that. Love is love. She said my view is slightly homophobic because it shows I am not acknowledging a different view. I do not see it that way. Am I the asshole? Should I apologize to my daughter and her partner? Edit for added context, I did not treat her situation as any different from her brother's. I took the time to get to know the person they were with. My wife feels I should have treated it differently because they are different situations. Ignoring that fact does not help. Update: thanks for the input. Everyone is right, I should have just asked my daughter. I will see if she is free tomorrow for some coffee and have a chat with her. I am sure my wife's words just got to me, but only one way to find out, right? Thanks again. Not the asshole. I'm a lesbian. When I came out to my parents, they basically reacted with "That's nice, dear." My sexuality didn't change my relationship with them. In my opinion, that's how it should be. Info: how does your daughter feel? Not the asshole. I will never understand what is homophobic about people treating gay children exactly the same as they treat straight children. Isn't that the ideal that we are striving for? I personally think your wife's reaction was lovely and validating, and I think your non-reaction was also lovely and validating. But no one here can make a judgment for you on this. Only your daughter can. Info: not the asshole. Your reaction is the right one, because homosexuality shouldn't be a big deal. It's one way of life and it's just as fine as being straight or whatever. Just talk to your daughter and make sure she doesn't wrongfully get the impression that you don't care. Explain to her that it's just that's it, quite undramatic to you, and that you accept her 100 and thought her partner seemed cool. She'll be happy. Not the asshole. You responded normally. This is what we're trying to move towards. When I came out to my mom, she didn't have much of a reaction. Just spoke to me about how I was feeling, like it was the easiest thing to talk about. I was a teenager and it made me feel good. I had been incredibly nervous about her reaction, and was very happy with how mild it was. If your daughter herself asked for a little more validation from you, I'd say of course give it to her. But I don't think big displays of emotion should be expected. Sexuality is natural, it isn't a choice. It shouldn't be more or less celebrated than someone saying they're straight. You probably should have shown more emotion. Coming out is a bit of an announcement, and it's expected that you should put forth a bit of enthusiasm. If she had said she got a promotion at work, would you just give a flat okay with a shrug? Or would you try to gin up a smile and a hug for her? It's like wishing someone a happy birthday on their birthday. Sure, it's a perfectly predictable event and it doesn't matter all that much, but we celebrate it and we show happiness, enthusiasm for someone telling us they're a year older. When she came out to you, you should have shown her some enthusiastic support and joy. You're not an asshole, but like, coming out to your parents is a big moment, give your kid a hug. Just saying that if something is a huge deal for someone, and you treat it as if it is nothing important, then they will not feel that you are there for them. You should at least show interest instead of not caring. And I don't think you should have made a big deal out of it if that's not your reaction, but it wouldn't have hurt to say thanks for telling me. It must have taken a lot of courage to bring it up and I appreciate it. Not the asshole? You explained it yourself. I mean, you could have been slightly more enthusiastic because coming out takes a lot courage. But I mean, as long as you were being respectful and kind about it, everything should be fine. Make sure she knows you accept her. Not the asshole. But did you say what you said to your wife, to your daughter? Could she tell that the silence was the silence of acceptance, not the silence of rejection? Dude, what is up with this comment section? No one is going on a crusade against the straights or advocating that we treat gay people better than others. I can't say what your daughter was feeling, but for what was likely an anxiety-inducing and important confession, I would want some more enthusiasm than "that's nice." I would say you're not an asshole, but you've missed something that's really important to your daughter. Just because you don't care, doesn't mean that this wasn't a big deal for her. Acknowledge what she's gone through hiding this for years, thank her for trusting you enough to share. You aren't wrong to feel how you feel. However, know your daughter probably agnosed for years over telling you your wife. Planned it all out. Analyzed how you would react, what she would do. So it's probably a lot for you to basically just ignore it, as telling you was a huge deal to her. Nah. Our reactions are what they are. She wanted you to fake surprise? Or upset? Or enthusiasm? Did she demonstrate a lot of emotion that you ignored? Was she crying? Or blank? If she was emotional and you were not comforting, then you're the asshole, but at face value, nah. I don't understand Reddit. If people aren't fazed by someone coming out, many people on "am I the asshole?" are upset. Shouldn't you be happy people have normalized gay relationships to the point it's basically a non-event? That seems like progress. Not something to be upset about. Info. Did you tell your daughter you don't care about her being gay and love her either way? Or did you just not acknowledge her announcement at all? Big difference in how either comes across. Tell her you love her. Not the asshole. I came out as bi to my family when I was 15. None of them made a big deal out of it. It was just normal. It made me feel safe and like it didn't matter who I loved. I don't think there always has to be this huge OMG hooray I'm so proud moment after everyone comes out. Not the asshole, but have you talked to your daughter? It can be very difficult to come out, and while it's wonderful that you accept your daughter and love her for who she is, she might have needed some reassurance of that, and this was an opportunity for you to give her that reassurance. I'd recommend telling her how you feel and how much you love her and want her to be happy. It's not homophobic, obviously. But personally I feel like I'd want a little reaction acknowledgement. It's a large part of herself, so it should matter to you in a good way. Nah, your reaction wasn't homophobic, but I think you're trying so hard to show how cool you are, you completely missed that your daughter likely had a lot of stress around telling you. Coming out is often hard, even when they know their families are likely to be supportive. So you should have acknowledged that this was a big deal for her and put in a bit of effort to reassure her. Not the asshole, you normalized the situation rather than making it a huge deal or an issue. Not everyone wants grand celebrations or to be put on a giant pedestal. Treating people differently because of their sexuality isn't always the correct answer. I don't see where you'd be wrong, but also it's dependent on your daughter's feelings. I'd ask your daughter if she had any issues with how you handled her coming out. Not the asshole, but I've done something like this before. When my friend came out for me, it was a Tuesday. I couldn't have cared less if he was straight, gay or anything in between because he is my guy. It is absolutely not a big deal. What I failed to realize, after he got upset, is that it was a big deal to him, and it takes guts to do it even if the person you are telling cares as much as if you had told them you like sugar in your tea. So, yeah, good for you for not being hung up on that stuff, but you need to show support for how hard it is generally and will be going forward with other people who aren't so cool with it. Honestly, I don't know. How does your daughter feel? If you feel reconsidering because of what she asked, maybe instead of asking us not judging, just advising, maybe you should ask her if she felt wronged and act from there. Like if she feels you were acting like an R, then you apologize and explain your thought process and let her know you're proud and also happy that she is happy. But if she did not feel disrespected, well, I think you're good, thumbs up.